Hi, welcome back. My name is Susan B Lochocki, running for President of the United States as a write-in. And this is my Matters studio temporarily. And this is Talk Tuesday. Welcome. So now the talk is going to be about crime. It's time to talk about crime and my solutions for it. We always talk about policing and wars and all this stuff, but we don't talk about the underlying causes of them. And that's what we're going to talk about today, and solutions on how to prevent crime. Ta-da! A new concept in law enforcement is preventing it. Yeah, it's time to do that. So, why do people commit crimes? Because most of the time they need money, right? Right. Or they need something somebody else has and they don't have. Or I suppose in some people it's because they're jealous, they hate somebody, they feel they have some sort of right over somebody else. Or why else might people commit crime? I don't know. I suppose there's also accidental crime. Like sometimes I accidentally drive more than I should as a speed limit because, I only recently started using cruise control. And I mean, speeding is a crime, I suppose. It sounds pretty harsh to say it that way. But yeah, so occasionally I might go over the speed limit. But I've learned to use cruise control since this year. I've really been trying to use it. And with that, it keeps me in a better, more stable speed. So then I don't do any crime. So I'm happy about cruise control. But that's enough about me. There are crimes, so a lot of people do crime because they need money. And I think that that's one of the main reasons, and then there's hate. So in my plan of how to go about the next 4 years with the country, I plan to tackle all of these things. We, for some reason, and it's through no fault of our own, except for the fact that if we know it and continue it, then it is our fault. So what we now know is that the way our system is set up for young people puts them at a disadvantage right from the start of their young adult life. With college tuition being so high and not being able to get a good quality job, but insisting that everybody goes to college or university. It's just a recipe for disaster. And we're seeing it over and over again in many ways. First, and I should say it even starts before that, with education, local education. So yeah, let me go back to that even. So we have schools and we have public schools. And we used to have good public schools. But then people moved into neighborhoods because the rent maybe was cheap. But then they didn't like the public school. So then they started these things called charter schools, which then started taking public school money away from the actual public school and putting it into a semi-private school where charter schools get money from the government and they get money from the parents. And then you have full private schools, which are on their own thing. I hope that they're not getting any public school money. But yes, So we have these different levels of kindergarten through 12th grade school systems, and these different schools are dividing the children into categories. Now, I don't have a problem with private schools, and I don't have a problem with public schools, but I have a problem with charter schools. They're just somehow glorified public schools based on, I'm not sure. I don't know how they got started in the first place, but they are the first things to go. So I'm sorry, you charter schools out there need to decide if you're going to be a private school or a public school, but you're not both. No. With that said, I am wanting to build diversity in the country. And by having segregated schools the way we do, that's not building diversity. It's not fair, and you're taking quality education away from your fellow citizens. So if you are upset, like I am, at the way your fellow citizens are being treated, then it's time that we team together and we change that system. So my proposal is to have all children in a community, doesn't matter if you're going to a private or public school, everybody will go to a public school in the morning. Then you go home for lunch, and then after lunch you can either go back to the public school or you can go off to your private school and get your private school teaching that your parents want for you. Okay? So that's my solution. Kids still go 5 days a week to school. I think that's good. It also gives parents time off. And it's going to produce diversity in the schools if everybody goes. Then you know who your neighbors are, and they're not strangers anymore. And you learn from each other. You'll learn about different cultures. You'll learn about different ways people are, different languages. And it'll be sort of like going, I don't know, just to a diversity peace training session every day, Monday through Friday. And the kids are going to learn a lot. And they're going to learn about their neighbors and different ways of life. It's going to be great. And then you go home to a loving lunch, and then you can return to the public school for more schooling, or you can go to your private schools. So that's what we're talking about. Yeah, I think that, bringing people together is important. This segregation, and that's what it is, private schools and charter schools, they're just a glorified way of saying segregation. It's not working. And it's taking funds away from the private schools, from the public schools. Public schools. So that's step one. Step two is the apprenticeship program is so underutilized in the United States. It's sad. So we need to utilize that, because you got a lot of kids growing up thinking they want to be something, and then they get there and they find out, oh, that's not what I wanted to be, and I just spent all this money and I'm in debt up to $300,000, and that's just not going to work. So we need to start utilizing the apprenticeship program. I would like to make it mandatory that all children go through an apprenticeship from like the age of 16 to 18, and they learn how to be around adults and people of different, diversity training, and learn how to handle different situations in an environment away from their parents, where they have the opportunity to grow a little too. And so, you know, some might choose, you know, working in an office, some might choose working in a factory, some might choose working at a construction site, some might choose to work in a beauty salon. And then they learn different skills and away from their parents in a safe environment through the apprenticeship program. Then after that, so at 18, then comes my real program. So I would then like to hire your kids to come and become nurses. Everybody at the age of 18 gets nursing training. So it's in another apprenticeship program for 2 years. You'll learn there how to do everything from, you know, bandage a wound to take care of a dog or an elderly person or a child. You learn all the skills that you need sort of actually to be parents maybe. And or to go on and be a real official nurse. But I think one of the things that we discovered in this pandemic is that a lot of people, we have a shortage of nurses and a shortage of people understanding illness and all sorts of things. And I think that that if we have a working adult group, so from 18 to 20, who learn how to take care of themselves, the world around them, their parents, their grandparents, their little brother and sister officially, learn how to take care of, you know, a broken bone or a bad cut if they fall or something. These are all important life skills that are being sort of overlooked, left behind. And I think it's a great way to start life is to know about yourself and your neighbor and how to take care of each other in case of an emergency, like a pandemic or an earthquake or a tornado, you know, so that we're prepared. And through this training that I would like to propose, you know, we'll also, one of the things that I realized, how much time do I have? Yeah, is that a lot of U.S. citizens don't take vacation currently, and they've never been out of their little hometown or home state. And I want to change that too, because we have a big, beautiful country, and it's yours. It's yours to enjoy. So we need to help our children get out and enjoy it. And so through this program, I would send kids to different states to see something different, to enjoy, to learn something new, meet new people, make new connections, networking. You know, the sky's the limit. And this is for everyone. This would be mandatory. Private school kids don't get out of it. Everybody goes through it. I don't care how smart you are. Yeah, everybody. It's important. These are important life learning skills to do. So, and the memories that will be built will also be life-changing and a wonderful experience. So that just is the beginning of sort of this diversity training and changing the crime in the United States. I think with learning to care for people and learning and getting a salary. So I'm going to pay your kids to come and learn, you know, so that we have, you know, whatever. They'll have room and board and food for sure, but they'll get a little salary, so they have a little spending money, and even in the apprenticeship program, that too will happen. But you know, yeah. So that's the general start of changing the system and moving to a more peaceful society and a more humane society where crime won't be an issue. Now I notice that we're already at 15 minutes, so I'm going to stop here, and then part 5 I guess is coming, and I'll continue with what happens after that. All right, stay tuned.